We go again at the Sesa Academy ground here in Goa, where it's going to be down to the final day of Group C, where the top four teams are still in contention to make it through to the final round of the competition. A lot at stake as Liberty Ladies Football Club are prepared to take on Tungabhadra FC. It's number 2 versus number 4 in the points table. And both these teams would want to make sure they get off to a very good start here. Group C, Sesa right on top of the pile with 7 points, followed closely by Liberty. We've managed 5 points from the 3 games they've played so far. Mumbai Knights are on 5 as well. Tungabadra, 4 points from the 3 games they have played with 1 victory, 1 draw and 1 defeat. A victory for Tungabhadra will take them to 7 this morning and would want the result at the 4 p.m. kickoff to go their way. It wasn't the happiest of outings for Tungabhadra. In the last game, went down to Sesa by 4-0. And Liberty Ladies as well draw points against Mumbai Knights as they couldn't manage to score. But all that could change. All the top 4 teams in the group, Sesa, Liberty Ladies, Mumbai Knights and Tungabhadra, are all still in contention mathematically. Group A has been locked down with Garhwal United and Krida Prabodhini, who've made it through to the final round. 15 teams divided into 3 groups of 5 each, and top 2 teams from each group qualify for the final round with a heavy prize at stake. The top 2 in the final round will make their way through to the IWL next season. And at the moment, the battle is going to be quite stiff because we have entered the business stage of the group stages. The match officials for this one, Neetu Rana will have the company of Abhirami, and Pinky Reddy will be serving her as the assistants. Francisco Fernandez, of course, will be the match commissioner from this venue. And I'll be alongside for both the halves. This is Junaid Ahmed, welcoming all the football fans joining in. Mamta Singh has been joined by R. Shobha of Tungabhadra. Planted goals left, right, and center. Liberty managed to score 12 in the game against Northeast United. That was the first game. It was swiftly followed by a 1-1 draw to Sesa. Then dropping points against Mumbai Knights in the last fixture they played. And here's how Liberty Ladies FC will start this fixture. Enia Mamta Singh, the skipper. Markadarshi Anjana Nakulan. Singo Murmu. Laya Balasubramaniam, who starts in between the sticks. Deepika Chauhan, Mamta Mahata. Krishnedhu Shahana, and Devananda. And Sumitra Kamraj is the head coach of this side. For Tungabadra FC, Boya Anusha, Janani Topur, Arshia Anvita, Durga, Mandala Anusha, Nandini Choba, Aruna, Venkataraja Namrata, Merukala Sai Varshita, and Dada Lander is the head coach of this side. Those are starting out on the bench for Tungabadra, Akila Sneha, Mugli Sarain, Priya Rathod, Ashika, Abhinaya, Aparijita, and for we'll get back to the substitutes in a bit. The action is right in front of us now. And off we go. We're at the Sesa Ground Academy. Liberty ladies in their purple. Tungabhadra FC in their orange. Puts it through. Here's Tungabhadra. Got quite a few goal scoring options, both these sides. Mamta Singh scored a couple in the first game. There was a Shahana Tungabhadra. And closed down on that shot. And all those goal scorers getting to start this fixture. There's Deepika Chauhan, Priyadarshini, Markadarshi, Singo Murmu, of course, Shahana. Yes, Tungabhadra now marching forward. And still have the ball, not allowed to turn there. Was forced to push back. And gives the ball away. Here's Liberty and trying to up the ante, and swift switch towards the far left. Draws a clearance from Tungabhadra. A good tempo to the game. Both the teams know what's at stake. It's a must-win situation for both of them. The good thing from Liberty ladies' perspective is they've got a high goal difference. And scored 12 against Northeast United FC, and that has separated themselves from the rest of the lot in the group. Enjoying a healthy goal difference of 12 at this point in time. And slightly behind them in terms of that metric is the Sesa, who are 2 points adrift right on top of the table at this stage of the competition. And takes a touch, turns and pushes it forward. There's Nandini who's leading the line along with Anvita for Tungabhadra FC. Nandini gets dispossessed, was played down the line straight towards Tungabhadra. They've got three in the back in Janani Thopur, Arshia and Durga. From the team sheet, looks like it's a 3-5-2 that they have fielded Tungabhadra FC. It's a heavily packed midfield. The likes of Anusha, Namrata, Shobha, Aruna and Varshita. And gets it inside the penalty area. In the touch. Rolls it towards the goalkeeper. And on the side, it's a 3-5-2. It's a 5-3-2, beg your pardon, for Liberty ladies. They've got Enia, Mamta Mahata, Krishnedu and Devananda in the back five. Zanjana, Markadarshi, Deepika Chauhan playing through the center. It's a decent ball. She went sliding in. Danger hasn't died down yet. Here's Liberty, still trying to make things work. But takes a touch, unleashes, and goes just over the crossbar. It's a very good
takes a touch, unleashes, and goes just over the crossbar.
Again, long ball push forward towards up top. Plays for the bounce and manages to get the clearance. Back to shape was the call. He takes the deflection, fortuitously falls for Anvita. Defense is right up there. 5 minutes into the first half. It's being played with a very high intensity. Both the teams trying to make those early inroads in the first half. Anvita wins it. Varshita. Belted out by the back line. Singhu Murmu and Shahana, who are playing up the pitch for Liberty Ladies. I haven't seen enough of them in the first 7 minutes here. Mamta Singh trying to pick out a pass through the long ball. It looks like there was a flag up for the offside there. There's Durga behind this one. Scored in the game against Northeast United. Managed to put four past them. Durga, Anvita, Anusha and Sushmita getting on the score sheet. They've played 3, won 1, lost 1 and drawn 1. Tungabhadra scored 6 goals and conceded 6. And standing at a goal difference of 0. The only team who couldn't quite manage to register points in the group stage is Northeast United FC. Played 4, lost 4, scored the only goal and conceded 28 in the process. Hasn't been the happiest of campaigns for them. It takes the touch, turns, carries it forward. And still alive for Tungabhadra. Varshita does well to reach to the end of it and manages to get a shot away. Has taken the deflection and has gone behind for a corner. First of the game going Tungabhadra FC's way. And that hunger to reach for that long ball played inside those open spaces. You can hear the voice of Dada Kalandar pushing the players forward. Back post was at the target. Norin Shed reaches out for it. Cleared away by Mamta Mahata. Again, doesn't read the bounce. Fortuitously, the ball finds a purple shirt. A heavy first touch, still going pretty strong. She had the company coming from the other side. But again, that final ball not being decisive enough. Here's Liberty. Still have the possession. Does well to keep it. Takes it, turns, carries forward. Still Liberty. This time was outnumbered. That channel towards the left. This is Marka Darshi, the number 7, who's seen a lot of the ball inside the first 10 minutes here. Mamta still trying to go for that press. Rashida has kept it in. And presses the shout coming from the touchline. Decides to go from way out. More of a hope. Anusha goes long and finds a purple shirt and sent back in straight away. A bit sloppy there from Anusha. There's a decent opportunity. Gets to the end of it. Goes around the keeper. Has found the back of the net. Inside 11 minutes. Liberty Ladies FC have managed to break the deadlock here in Goa. The goalkeeper was off her line and was dealt brilliantly. Goes around her, Singo Murmu, into an open net. Doesn't make a mistake. And there you have the confirmation. Singo Murmu adds one more to her tally. That's her fourth of the campaign. Scored a brilliant hat-trick against Northeast United. Now, will we have a swift response coming in from Tungabhadra? Here's Varshita with a long ball inside the penalty area. Laya Balasubramaniam latches onto it. They're doing well to win the ball back in the center of the park. It's all about that precision in terms of making it work and get to the final third. Is what hasn't turned so far. Still early days. It's a decent ball to try and thread that back line. And again, a looping long ball up the pitch. And Singo Murmu does well to get to the end of it. Just clear up. Confirmation of that the goal scorer, Singo Murmu. Here's Marco Darshi. Gets dispossessed. Swiftly win it back. Again, was under pressure from Mamta. And still have the ball. "15 teams have been divided into 3 groups. A, B, C of 5 teams each. Garhwal United and Krida Prabodhini have made it through to the final round. Early days in Group B. But at the moment, Union Arrows right on top with 6 points from the 2 games they've played so far. And being followed up by Interkashi. The second spot with the goal difference they've managed. That group closes on the 11th of April. It's the final day for Group C. Got a game going on between Liberty Ladies FC and Tungabadra Football Club. And then the next one to follow at 4 p.m. will be between Sesa and Mumbai Knights. Sesa with 7 points. Mumbai Knights currently at the 3rd spot in the standings with 5 that they have managed in the 3 games they've played so far. There's a time to get those calculators out, calculate those goal differences, the points, who has to do what. And first up, it's this battle between Liberty Ladies FC and Tungabhadra Football Club. And at the moment, though it's a slender lead, Liberty Ladies would be feeling a lot better. Just plays in front of Deepika there, decides to go through with a shot. Couldn't quite get the touch. And pushed out by Tungabhadra's back line. It's Mamta. And spreads it towards the far left. Couldn't quite keep it in, and that goes out of the play for a throw-in. So first quarter has been done and dusted. Liberty Ladies Football Club leading this game by a goal to nil. Again, a bit lackluster in terms of the passing there. Has conceded the possession. Here's Tungabhadra trying to bring it forward. Puts a bit of weight behind that one. Put it inside was the shout. That was swiftly followed. Here's Tungabhadra. It was an attempt from way out. The direction was always going far away from the target. Hasn't been tested at all. Laya Bala Subramaniam. Hasn't been enough touches inside the penalty area or even in the final third for Tungabhadra FC. All the possession has been on the other side. And she remained onside. Mamta. And seen a lot of the ball in that space towards the far right. Mamta Mahata has done well to take on the full back and drive it forward. Shobha. Again, brilliant defensive work. Those long balls played to try and get an orange shirt involved. The ball has been looping in the air. The centre back goes up. And the other defenders step back to try and win the second ball back. Here's Deepika. He finds a brilliant ball. Shahana was definitely in with an opportunity there had she remained onside. Can hear very animated Sumitra Kamraj trying to get the alignment right. Passing on a set of instructions to Shahana. 1-on-1 in that corner. Managed to get the cross away. Here's Liberty. Shot was taken from outside the box by Markadarshi. Was launched forward. Went airborne. A couple of headers. Drops in for a purple shirt. Again trying pretty swiftly to switch it towards the far right. Done brilliantly to win the ball back there. Reshapes and gets it inside the penalty area. Well, that could have been deadly dangerous. Again that bounce. Not reading that well. Boya Anusha. It was effective to win the second attempt. Mamta trying to put some pressure on the back line. There's Arshia, there's Durga, there's Janani in the back three. I'll start with the back five initially. Liberty Ladies in possession have shifted to back four with one of the defenders playing it into a much advancing position. Here's Makadashi in the center of the park. He's trying to pick out a pass there. Doesn't get the clearance. Takes the first touch. Here's Nandini. Still Nandini. Stutters for a bit. Here's Varshita now. has managed to get a throw in, I believe. 20 minutes into the first half. Liberty Ladies FC leading this game by a goal to nil. Goal scored by Singo Murmu in the first quarter of the game. From their perspective, they would want to make sure score a couple more and this just take this game far and far away from Tungabhadra FC's reach. Can they do it? We'll have that answer in about a few minutes from now. We haven't seen enough of Tungabhadra in the final third. They're trying to defend, win the ball back. Still got to get the likes of Nandini and Vita on the ball on a consistent basis, which hasn't been the story. Again, let's for the ball to bounce and an easy clearance from Enia. There hasn't been enough questions asked off that back line as yet. Enia is Mamta Singh, Krishnedu and Devananda. Here comes Tungabhadra. Again, not being allowed any time and space to move forward. As to go sideways, this is a decent ball. Here comes Tungabhadra, gets it inside the penalty area and a shot taken. Called into action for the first time. Laya Balasubramaniam ensures she pouches onto that one. Long ball pushed forward again and goes out for a throw-in. Markadarshi gets the header away. Nandini, does she remain onside is a question. Going pretty strong and finds the back of the net. Well, for a moment, it looked like the flag would have been raised, but she had done brilliantly to remain onside. Anvita Raghuraman gets on the score sheet and has got this game back to parity. Well, there you have a look at it. Keeper, a fumble. And fortuitously, the ball finds Anvita, who doesn't make any mistake.
Goal scorer, Tungabadra FC, jersey number 4, Anvita Raghuraman.
1-1 is the score line. Half of the first half has been ticked off here in Goa. The cross coming in, a header goes just wide, rather way too wide of the target. And again, Mamta getting on the ball and trying to take the full back on. Does ever so well and managed to get the cross in. And gives it away straight to Mamta. Here's Varshita. Here's Anvita, the goal scorer. Not quite sure if she was trying to go for the goal from there on. Here's Tungabhadra. It's a brilliant ball. Takes the entire backline out. Gets the cross in. Takes the first touch. Oh my word. Still in play. Still inside the penalty area. That was a brilliant move from Tungabhadra FC. A header this time. Looping ball. And Laya Balasubramaniam pouches that one safely in the end. And there you have a look at it. It was a brilliantly threaded ball to take the entire backline out with that effort. Did so well to get to the end of it and couldn't quite provide the finishing touch. A fantastic move by Tungabhadra FC. In about last 4-5 minutes, they're back into the first half here. Want to make sure they just slow this game down a little bit. Liberty Ladies FC. Because they're trying to pick out those brilliant passes now. Tungabhadra from the center of the park. It was Anusha. Gives it away this time. And trying to get Mamta involved. Here's Mamta now. Lets it bounce. Takes it on the touch. And goes out for a throw-in. So 1-1 is what the scoreline reads. 9 a.m. kickoff between Liberty Ladies FC and Tungabhadra Football Club. As we go into the drinks break, with the game hangs in balance. You have the match officials, Neetu Rana leading the refereeing contingent. Abhirami, Pinky Reddy, Neha. It's been a breezy first 25-26 minutes here. An opportunity to throw in a quick word, a quick set of instructions. The right flank definitely has been the preferred route of operations for Liberty Ladies FC. On the flip side, Tungabhadra have gone more direct, more central. Those through balls have been a delight to watch. Singa Murmu scoring in the first quarter, which was cancelled out by Anvita. Got his third of the campaign and scored in the first game against Mumbai Knights. And scored in the game against Northeast United. And today adding one more to her tally. And Singo goes sideways. Is Anjana. And 2v1 just outside the box. Was trying to get Shahana involved, but was sent out for a throw-in. Attacking wise, Liberty Ladies FC have looked better of the two sides up until this point. Tungabhadra has been effective. Have grown in confidence in the last 10 minutes or so. Led by the likes of Varshita. Anusha has got a lot of ball in the center of the park. Here's Makadarshi. Heavy first touch, letting her down. Was belted away by an orange shirt. Here's Laya. Pushes it down the line towards Mamta. Markadarshi helps her out. Goes sideways. Tries to get into those open spaces there. Anusha makes sure she latches onto it. Here's Tungabhadra. Another long ball played forward. Looks like it's Aruna who's slotted into the back line. Here's Anvita. And don't lose was the shout. She didn't lose it. It was skied up in the air, but looks like it's Nandini who was starting from an offside position. Stays stationary leading the line there. Nandini. Anvita has put in the hard yards, dropped in deep to try and win the ball back. Here comes Liberty Ladies FC. And again, that first touch letting them down. Going to be a goal kick. Tempo has slightly died down a bit from the girls in purple. Here's Deva for Markadarshi. Here's Deepika. Couldn't quite get the clearance right, but Anusha, pretty watchful, catches it safely in the end before Shahana could get something. Here's Markadarshi again. Loses out on the ball. Here's Varshita. Drills it down the center. But only to draw a clearance from a purple shirt. They'll have to try and get hold of the balls, try and string a few passes together. Both these sides been guilty of losing out on the ball on a consistent basis, especially in the last couple of minutes. Here's Devananda. Pushes it forward towards Markadarshi. Here's Anvita. Takes a touch. And again has given it away. Shahana was trying to link up, but there was a bit of interference coming in from Anusha. They still have the ball though. And goes for a switch and play. Taken out by Tungabhadra. Here's Mamta. Squares it up towards the other side. And that has been slotted home. Brilliantly done. It curls into the back of the net with the glory following the ball right through. They've managed to reinstate the lead here, Liberty Ladies FC. It was again that right flank. Mamta Mahata squares it up towards the back post. That was invitingly placed for Anjana Nakulan, who gets to the end of it and belts it into the far post. Now then, would we have another response? They've come back once from behind. Tungabhadra, can they do it all over again? Doesn't get the clearance away, and that is something both these sides will have to be wary about, because it was a defensive error.
Goal scorer, Liberty Ladies FC, jersey number 9, Anjana Nakulan.
For all the hard yards done in the last 15 minutes or so, Tungabhadra find themselves trailing once again. We've still got about 12 minutes left in the normal time, plus the stoppages to follow. Here's Anusha marching forward. And drills it forward once again through that back line. The flag was up straight away. It was another brilliant delivery. We'll have to try and be onside, get those runs to perfection. Because Anusha, whenever she's got on the ball, she's tried to pierce that back line, has done at will at least 3 times in the last 17 minutes or so. And for Liberty Ladies FC, number 19, Mamta Mahata, has made all the difference in terms of their attack from the right flank. Again, a looping header. Anvita and Nandini are the eventual targets for those long balls. Again, dispossessed. There's Markadarshi. And so many times has won that ball played into those areas in the center. Here's Anjana, the goal scorer. Anusha gives it away cheaply. Here's Markadarshi. Shifts it towards the left. Devananda couldn't quite hold on to it. Here comes Anvita driving forward. A bit of an interference, and Anvita goes down to the ground. And did well to try and drive it away from the target. Again, played the player, not the ball. It's a free kick for Tungabhadra. Can they try and provide that setup inside the penalty area? Durga goes long, targets the back post. And definitely a decent try there, being acknowledged from the touchline. Eight more minutes into the first half, plus the stoppages to follow. Can Tungabhadra FC come back into the game? They've done well. Can they try and get their act together, especially in the final third? Again, hurries it forward. Mamta Singh. Here's Mamta. Trying for a link up. Goes for a long ball inside the box. There was a run being made from the center. Nusha gets to the end of it. Here's Liberty Ladies once again. I'm not quite sure if that was the option they were trying to go for, because this Mamta was positioned wide on the right and decided to go finer, much towards the direction of the goalkeeper. Here's Varshita. And still have the ball. I'm trying to link it forward and find Nandini. Making sure they couldn't quite progress it further from there on. Here's Nandini. We'll have to have a lot of involvement coming from Nandini as well. And couldn't quite get to the end of it, Nandini. Still got 6 minutes left in the normal time. Will we have a repost or response in the first half itself from Tungabhadra? Here's Anvita. Goes in full circle. And again, not quite sure if going for the shot was the ideal choice there. Devananda. It's a decent ball. And there you have it. 8 shots with 3 landing on target for Tungabhadra. 3 shots with 2 on target, resulting in goals for Liberty Ladies FC. Putting in the hard yards. Tungabhadra FC. It's about not being effective. Gone for those glory shots from outside the box. More of a hit and hope. Oh, lets it rip through. It was straight at the target. Goalkeeper making sure she was right there. It was Deepika Chauhan. There comes Liberty once again. Gets it inside the penalty area. Takes a touch. Again, they have to make sure they get these clearances right. Can't be sloppy in the final third. Here's Mamta. Plays it down the line for Markadar. She's made that run. Gets the cross in. And still in play. Takes the header. Nusha. Save his houses in the end. Some scary moments for Tungabhadra FC. They want to make sure they don't concede now. Here's Markadarshi. He's giving it away. Here's Mamta, who's won the ball back. The purple shirts march forward. Here's Mamta. Spreads it wide on the right. Dribble was the call from the touchline. Mamta, who's made that run to collect it, gets the cross into as the back post. Had 4 options waiting in front of the target. Singo on the bounce. Times her jump to perfection and gets the ball back to safety. I'm trying to set up Varshita straight away. Couldn't quite get it behind that back line. One back by Mamta. And the ball finds Singo Murmu. Just before she could manage to get herself to the end of it, Anusha once again has had a busy morning so far. Only 1 clean sheet so far in the 3 games for Tungabhadra FC. And on the flip side, Liberty Ladies FC have managed to keep 2. Completely annihilated Northeast United, putting 12 past them in the first game they played. And drawn against Sesa. And in the last game, dropping points against Mumbai Knights. If it stays the way it is, Liberty will move to 8 points. And at least till that game at 4 p.m. gets underway, will be right on top of the table. And the equation is pretty straight from their perspective. They would want Sesa to at least draw that game against Mumbai Knights. Here's Mamta once again. Goes past the fullback, gets the cross in. It went straight towards Anusha.
2 minutes.
2 minutes have been added on as stoppages. Now will they try and see out these 2 minutes, or will they go for a goal here? They've been held in their tracks especially from the flanks. We haven't seen those drives to try and take on the fullbacks on a consistent basis right throughout the first set of 45 here from Tungabhadra FC. All the attacks have come from the center, especially with Anusha trying to pick out those passes and find the likes of Anvita or Nandini. Again, lacking on the quality of the ball to try and find Nandini there. Here's Deva. Back with Deva swiftly. Tries to get towards the center. Here's Shobha, who loses out on the possession. There's Janani. Again, defensively, right up there. Liberty ladies not giving them any time and space on the ball to try and turn and get it forward. She went sliding in there, Anjana. Still feeling for looks like it's the shin that has taken a bite. Some spraying work done by the physio. Looks like she's going to be back on her feet and will be ready to go once again. The dying embers of the first half. It's been an entertaining first set of 45 here in Goa. Both teams desperate for a victory. Zanvita takes the touch, tries to. It was Nandini who got the touch and wanted to play in Anvita. Here's Nandini. And again deflected. And there comes the end of the first half. And it's been an enthralling first set of 45 here in Goa. Liberty Ladies FC taking an early lead through a strike from Singo Murmu. And that was cancelled out by Anvita Raghuraman's goal. And then coming back into the contest and taking that lead once again through Anjana Nakulan's strike. A brilliantly taken goal from the left. And at the halftime mark, Liberty Ladies FC leading this game by 2-1. It's going to be an entertaining second set of 45 minutes coming our way. And in case if you have missed out on some of the action, this is how it panned out. Last day of Group C, both the teams looking to get those 3 crucial points that are up for grab. And got all to play for. In that defensive lapse, not getting the communication right, not getting the clearance right. And Singo Murmu putting it past the goalkeeper. This was firmly struck. Mala Subramaniam. This was the response. Could have done better there. Clearly not happy. Flustered. Should have hit the target with the second attempt as well. That would have definitely made their case a bit more interesting. And this was the second. Strikes first time into the far corner. Deepika Chauhan letting one fly from outside the box. And that's how the halftime stats look like. Almost even Stevens in terms of the ball possession. And 3 shots with 4 shots with 3 landing on target for Liberty Ladies. 8 shots with 3 on target for Tungabhadra. 2 saves to 1. 1 corner to Tungabhadra. 2 fouls committed by Liberty Ladies FC's girls compared to 1 by Tungabhadra. No cards in the game so far. It's been a very clean game up until this point with a lot at stake. Both the teams want to go for those 3 points and make their case stronger for the final round. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for what could be a very good second half coming our way. Do stay with us. Welcome back to the viewers tuning in. We're back live for the start of the second half between Liberty Ladies FC and Tungabhadra Football Club. And at the moment, Liberty are enjoying the bragging rights. We've got a slender lead back reinstated after Anjana Nakulan found the net at the 33rd minute mark, beg your pardon. Waiting for the ref signal to get things moving for the second set of 45. And off we go for the start of the second half. Liberty Ladies FC going from right to left on your screens. We want to make sure just try and score one more and take this game far and far away from Tungabhadra FC's reach. Tungabhadra have shown some signs, have taken the shots, but only less than 50% of that has landed on the target. And that is something, that's one metric they'll want to make sure they try and get it right in the second half. Still need to get the likes of Nandini on the ball as much as they possibly can. And Rita has put in the hard yards, has dropped in deep at times to try and be that link up. On the flip side for Liberty Ladies FC, it's been a relatively simple process wherein Margodarsha tries to pick out the ball, find Mamta Mahata towards the far right, and slots it towards Singo Murmu. And again, a long ball pushed forward. And clearances is something Tungabhadra will have to make sure they get it right 100% because the goals have come in from the defensive errors on both the sides of the pitch, actually. Even Laya Balasubramaniam making a mess of the only goal she conceded in the first half. There's a cry of anguish coming in from the touchline. Keep the ball is the shout. Try and get that controlling game reinstated. Keep the ball and try and pick out a pass. Got to be defensive discipline, especially in the final third. Been more than one occasion they've been flagged offside. It's a pretty tight game with a lot at stake. The top two teams from each group get qualified to the final round of the competition. And from the 6 teams who will be making it through, the top 2 will go on to play in the IWL next season. The top of the pyramid tournament of Indian women's football. Which is currently in progress. East Bengal FC under the chaperonage of Anthony Andrews been doing brilliantly. And these teams will be eyeing for a spot for themselves next year. East Bengal, who are on top from the 12 games they've played. Gokulam Kerala, the close second. 5 points is still the difference between East Bengal and Gokulam. Sri Bhumi, who made it through from the very competition unfolding in front of our eyes. Sunitha Football Academy as well. Pretty sure all these teams competing will draw an inspiration that they've taken from the likes of Sri Bhumi, Sunitha Football Academy, and would want to be joining them for the next year's competition. Hops FC in the IWL, right at the bottom of the table. In a very strange situation, the title defenders, Odisha FC, find themselves fighting that relegation battle. 1 point adrift of Nita Football Academy. And all these performances will have a repercussion of sorts. Those finishing at the bottom of the table, the bottom two, will be making their move towards I League 2 for next season. Ones finishing at the top here will make their way towards the I League. The IWL, beg your pardon. And here's Enia with the throw-in. It's trying to play in towards a purple shirt further forward, taken away by Tungabhadra, and again not controlling, not holding on to the ball. Lobs it over the keeper, a bounce! And Anusha latches onto it. They survive somehow. Hits the woodwork and back. Well, that could have been game, set and match. Would have been an absolutely daunting task for Tungabhadra to climb from there on. And again, not reading the bounce well, Anusha. We'll have to try and sort out that back line. We'll have to try and get those clearances right. Being guilty of not reading the bounce on the ball correctly on more than a few occasions. Been quite a few defensive mistakes, even in the first half and even in the first 6 minutes in the second. Again, takes the touch, unleashes. Here's Tungabhadra. Trying to pick out a pass towards the far left. And Vita, before she could get a foothold of it. While Subramaniam latches onto it pretty safely. Here's Enia. Belts it down towards the other side of the pitch. There's Namrita hustling for the ball. And trying to link up and carry forward from the left. Devananda hells them in their tracks. There's Varshita. And trying to get inside the box there. Sent out. Here's Tungabhadra. And finds Shahana. The lovely through ball. Singo Murmu takes a touch. Still has it. Goes full 360. And that has given them the time to try and get themselves back in check. There's Priya Rathore in the middle. Number 8, who was substituted at the halftime mark. There's Deepika. And takes a touch. Was under pressure from Varshita. Just knocks it out for a throw-in. And also another change at the halfway mark was the introduction of Srijanshri Shravanan. Here's Markadarshi, who's been instrumental in the first half. Has been very good with her distribution. Was trying to pick out a pass and find Mamta Mahata on a consistent basis. No, their attacks more often than not have come from the right side of the pitch. Here's Tungabhadra. You still have it. Loops it over to try and find Nandini. 2v1. Nandini unleashes herself. But Bala Subramaniam makes a good case out of it. Varshita. Again, trying to play out from the back now. We'll try for those long balls forward. We'll launch that towards the likes of Mamta. This Singo Murmu Shahana. And again, changing her mind and trying to go for that long ball. Gets dispossessed. Here's Anusha. Tries to link up with Varshita. Is trying to pick out a pass up the pitch. Offside flag was up. Allows Bala Subramaniam to restart things all over again. To 11 minutes into the second half. No clear-cut chances created on both sides of the pitch. Here's Deepika Chauhan trying to find Mamta Mahata. Picks it up, goes full 360. Wasn't allowed to turn there. Here's a Markadarshi. Slots that forward towards Singo Murmu, who's dropped in deep to try and keep the ball in. It was Singo Murmu's goal that gave them an early advantage in the first half for Liberty Ladies FC. Here's a Shravanan. Here comes Tungabhadra through Nandini. Here's Devananda. They'll have to try and get hold of any sniff that is presented to them. Tungabhadra get that second goal and get this game back in check once again. They've come from behind in the first half. Can they do that again in the second set of 45 is a big question. As Markadarshi launches that one in the air. It takes, allows the ball to fall. Singo Murmu still hustling. Again, belted towards Singo Murmu. Still has it. Still going pretty strong. Takes a touch. And puts it behind for a corner. This was Arshia. leaves nothing to chance and concedes a corner. And who's it going to be? Mamta, standing right on top of her mark. Here goes Mamta. Targets the near post, a header! Just wide of the target. Well executed. Was almost unchallenged there. Singo Murmu gets herself into a very decent position. And everything was right, but just the direction. And still got 2 more quarters left. Can Tungabhadra come back and score one more at the earliest? Heavy first touch. Here comes the Shahana! Who couldn't quite hit the target from there on. And Tungabhadra have managed to get the ball towards the other side. They've been knocking on the door on a consistent basis now. Liberty ladies. And this time from the left channel. Gets it inside the penalty area. And again, not rising on the bounce there, Singo Murmu. Did ever so well to get to the end of it. It was just the trajectory with which it was sent. It was a brilliant effort from Shahana. I'm not quite sure if that went the sideways or hit the crossbar. Here's Anvita. One-on-one with Enia. Is forced to push back. Here's Aruna. Markadarshi wins the ball back. Taken away by Tungabhadra pretty swiftly. Again, it's all about what you create with the possession you have. And at the moment, Tungabhadra will have to try and make sure they do most of the ball that they get inside the final third. Trying to go for those long ranges haven't been paying dividends. It's going to be a free kick. Neetu Rana. Ruling in favor of Tungabhadra as Durga is more than capable of trying to test out the goalkeeper from here on. Here's Durga. A lot of purple shirts and trying to guard that area. They'll have to be watchful of some sloppy passing in the final third. Tungabhadra squares it inside the penalty area. A chance towards the back post. Oh my word! They've managed to come back from behind for the second time in the game. Tungabhadra FC have got this game back to parity once again. That right flank was called into action straight away. A perfect cross towards the back post. All they had to do was get something behind and test the goalkeeper from there on. Everybody misses, but not Varshita, who's had a fantastic first set of 45 and in the second has done brilliantly to get his side back into the contest. Here's Shahana, gets dispossessed. That should definitely get some spurs in the strides of this side, Tungabhadra FC. Both these sides trying desperately for a spot in the final round. And trying to pick out a pass there. Does well to find Singo. And Shahana lays it off. Merukala Sai Varshita, the goal scorer. There's Liberty Ladies. Takes the shot first time from the edge of the box there. Unchallenged. All she had to do was hit the target and make the goalkeeper work for it. It's cut back. Markadarshi, you should be hitting the target. It's got the making of a lot of nervy moments. Edge of the seat stuff. Here they come once again. Nandini didn't really have a very good first half by any stretch of imagination from her perspective. Here comes Singo Murmu, takes a touch. Singo Murmu, can she go all the way? Goes just wide of the target. That was another glorious moment. A great opportunity to get themselves back in the lead. And Singo Murmu puts it just wide off the target. Well, the defense, they'll have to try and get that talking point, get that communication right. It's been sloppy on both the sides of the pitch in terms of how they've defended. Haven't been able to get those clearances right more often than not. Still got 25 minutes left. Who's it going to be? Team up was the call from the touchline. Here comes Anvita shielding the ball and trying to get it away from the defense. Does well, keeps the ball in check. And a deft touch. Pushed out. Is Markadarshi. Drops deep to try and be that link up. Shahana. Again marching forward, does brilliantly to get it away from the full back. Here comes Shahana, who gets it inside. Not quite often. Looks like that has taken a deflection on its way through and would present an opportunity for Mamta Mahata to try and get the ball into those dangerous spaces. And last time they won a corner, Singo Murmu got a header that was put just wide of the target. Here they come again. And sent in, takes it on the turn. Shahana invitingly placed for Enia. Enia goes through with the strike. Falls for Deepika. Couldn't quite connect it. Nervy moments for Tungabhadra. Here comes Tungabhadra. Bala Subramaniam reads that well. Looked like for a moment that Anvita was in with a shout there. And that is something they'll have to keep doing on a consistent basis now. Anvita, Nandini, more than capable. Gets this possession in the center of the park. A lot of space to work with for Shahana. And Singo Murmu was flagged offside. She had all the time in the world to try and wait before she could deliver that pass. Went it first time. Still got 22 minutes left in the normal time, plus the stoppages to follow. And this game has got all the makings of a very exciting finish. Still hustling. Swept out by Liberty Ladies FC. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this is the IWL 2 contest between Liberty Ladies FC and Tungabhadra Football Club. A Group C fixture coming to you live from Goa. Sesa right on top of the table with 7 points from the 3 games they've played so far. 2 wins, 1 draw for them. Enjoying a healthy goal difference of 10. And second at the moment on the points table before the start of this fixture was Liberty Ladies FC. 5 points. Here's Anvita, takes a touch and provides a lovely ball. And was flagged offside there. Every time and again, though they haven't utilized the flanks as often, especially in the first half, to get the goal in the second from the right channel. It was a threaded ball piercing the entire backline out. Has been their forte. There's Liberty Ladies trying to link up. Mumbai Knights at the third spot, just behind Liberty, separated by a goal difference. Tungabhadra on the fourth position. If it finishes the way it is at the moment, there's going to be no changes in Tungabhadra standing. Is Nandini. 1-on-1 towards the right. Nandini up against Krishnedu. And Laya Bala Subramaniam gets the ball and the kick. Singo. He's trying to calm things down there from the touchline, asking Singo Murmu to be a bit patient, a bit poised. Here's Mamta Singh. And started the first half, the game rather, with a back five from the team sheet. 5 defensive-minded players on the pitch. Here's Anvita. Picks up the ball, has got company, decides to go through all by herself, and doesn't quite provide the finishing touch. It was Nandini who was making that run towards the centre. Her services wasn't required on that occasion. Anusha gets dispossessed. Singu wins it. Good defensive work this time. And what more, that has been belted towards the other side. Was anticipating the run coming in from Nandini. Had a lot more behind that one. And it's going to be all about how these two teams play out at the final quarter. And one thing that has been said from the touchline as well is get control of the ball and try and play out those passes. Keep hold of the ball. And trips over. Here's Anusha. Outnumbered in the middle. Done well to win it back, Anusha. And threads it down the line. Here's Nandini making that run. Is committed. Bala Subramaniam. And couldn't quite provide that final ball towards the back post. There was Anvita who was making that run. Loya Balasubramaniam making sure she gets something on its way through. There's a change. A couple of them, perhaps. Looks like it's Ladies FC, Liberty Ladies FC, who's made that. Darshini, who's come in place of Devananda, I believe. Get that confirmation on
Ladies FC.
the changes.
Jersey number 32, Devananda PM, being replaced by jersey number 20, Abhinaya V. Substitution for Liberty Ladies FC, jersey number 8, Priya Rathore, being replaced by jersey number 28, S. Darshini.
And there you have the confirmation. Priya Rathore, who came with the start of the second half, has been taken out, and Darshini has been thrown in. The task is quite simple. They need goals, fielded in a forward-minded player. It's a tactical change. And of course, Devya Nanda being replaced by Abhinaya. Who takes a touch, unleashes! Oh, just wide. It couldn't have missed by much. Anvita once again doing all the hard yards, unleashing herself on the target. It's going to be a drinks break. A well-deserved one. Both the sides giving it absolutely everything they have in their tanks. There's action from one side of the pitch to the other. What do they have for the last quarter remaining in the game? It's been a very good game for the officials as well. Pretty clean contest so far. It's a very high-octane game with a lot at stake. Both the teams fighting for a spot in the final round of the IWL 2. There you go, the confirmation of the changes. Abhinaya in and Devananda was replaced. Darshini came in place of Priya Rathore. And here goes Laya Balasubramaniam in an attempt to try and find the likes of Singo Murmu. Defending in deep now, Tungabhadra will have to play the best of football they know in the last 15 minutes. There's Nandini, lets the ball to bounce. Again, they get dispossessed. Here's Tungabhadra once again, and trying to build out from the back. Here comes Aruna. Aruna gets dispossessed. Getting a first touch. Darshini. Again, trying to provide that piercing ball. And through that back line there, you can see a lot of press coming in from the likes of Nandini and Anvita. And that back line of Liberty Ladies FC has got to be alert now. Any sniff, any loose balls in the final third, they will be absolutely punished. And same goes on the other side of the pitch as well. You can see Singo Murmu, Mamta Mahata with those presses and forward runs. They've been joined by the likes of Darshini, who's trying to stamp her authority on the contest. One goal is both these sides need at the moment. Again, there was a pressure on the back line, a hurried clearance. Gets it a bit more central. Here's Markadarshi. Markadarshi still. Better clearance, but only as far as a purple shirt in Enya. Enya for Markadarshi. Here's Darshini. One-on-one with the full back with Markadarshi. Markadarshi trying to get it away from Aruna. The pendulum has kept swinging in both the halves. First it was Liberty Ladies FC. With an early strike that was followed by Tungabhadra. Then Tungabadra getting that lead back and was equaled out in the second half by Liberty Ladies FC, who got the lead back, and that was cancelled out by Tungabadra FC. Sumitra Kamraj there, motivating her players to keep going in the last 10 minutes. Durga making that run. Has she stayed onside is a question. Takes a touch. Wasn't aware where the ball would land there. Allowed a bit of time for the back line to reassemble and get that clearance. Spit behind for a corner. And Nandini, can she provide that one magical delivery with 9 minutes to play in the normal time? Already has one assist to her name. Targets the back post. Doesn't get the clearance right. And finally, they've managed to get it away. But only as far as the far left. Tungabhadra can go on the ball. And the idea was to try and get inside the penalty area. Gets the purple shirt. Takes a decent first touch there. Here's Mamta Mahata. He's got a lot of options who are making that run in the final third. Brilliant defensive work from Anusha. Sees the ball go wide out. Here's Liberty. Lofted inside, but straight towards Anusha. We've got a couple of Anushas here. There's Anusha playing through the center, number 6. There's Anusha who's in between the sticks. Here's Nandini, meanwhile. Takes a decent first touch. Tries to get it away from Enya. Here's Nandini who gets the cross in. Would have expected, anticipated rather, a couple of yellow shirts putting some sort of pressure on that back line. He's had a very good second half, Nandini. Again, trying to pick out a pass there. Here's Singo Murmu giving it a chase. And Janani Topur does the defensive work this time. There's Janani, Arshia, Durga in the back line. And Singo Murmu. And still got a purple shirt on it. It's opened up nicely. Takes a shot. On the second. And this time, a brilliant save by the goalkeeper. They were hanging by the thinnest of threads. And somehow they survive for the second time in the second half. It opened up nicely for Singo Murmu, who got the shot away. And the goalkeeper, while diving towards her right, gets the body behind that one. Here's Markadarshi, launches that one forward. And Singo Murmu was flagged offside. Was starting from an offside position there. And still got 6 minutes left in the normal time, plus the stoppages to follow. This game can go either ways. Here's Durga. And finds Anvita. Anvita still strong. Mamta dropping deep to try and help out the back line. Last 5 minutes, Tungabhadra, if they've got to win it, it has to be that duo between of Nandini and Anvita. Will have to be on the ball as much as they possibly can. They've been instrumental in terms of how they've played in the attacking third. And on the flip side, Singo Murmu, Mamta Mahata. Darshini has shown a bit of promise since she has come on the pitch. And again, not to forget the ball distribution from Markadarshi. Deepika and tries to get it towards the other side. Here's Tungabhadra again trying to build out from. She remained on side. The flag was up straight away. How many minutes will be added on is a big question. Before that, it's going to be a change.
Substitution for Tungabadra FC.
Shravan
Jersey number 18, Shrujansi Sullivan. Replaced by jersey number 7, Susmita P.
Sushmita has come in place of Shravanan. And again, a tactical change, a midfielder being taken out, a forward option being thrown in by Tungabhadra. And just like what Liberty Ladies FC did a few minutes back. Both these teams want to win this game. Got no other choice. And again, winning the game also has got something to do with this last game of this group to be followed at 4 p.m. You have to expect the result to go their way as well. Put the equation easy. And Sesa should win that. Again, does well to win the ball back. Here's Anvita, and then final ball letting her down, but still with Nandini. Goes for goal, perhaps. I'm not quite sure if the target was a yellow shirt was stationed towards the far post. 3 more minutes. Markadarshi takes the touch. A lot of space ahead of her. Goes long towards the left side. Darshini making that run. The goalkeeper was committed initially. This is lobbed over the head and goes just over and wide of the target. That could have been game, set, and match. Got to make sure you keep that nerve under check in the last few minutes rather. A heavy first touch. There's no pressure. Launched forward. Still hustling, still fighting for it. Ball finds Anvita, gets dispossessed, but finds Nandini. Nandini does well to disentangle herself. Here's Nandini, has got options towards the back post. Nandini shoots, and Nandini draws in a save from Laya Balasubramaniam. Struck firmly. Not quite sure if that was the ideal decision, because the options were there for a tap in towards the back post. 90 seconds. Aruna behind this one. Aruna launches that towards the far post. Not an ideal corner taken. Sent back in. It's trying to help its way on its way through. Darshini giving it a chase. Get away with the ball. Here's Durga now. Can she try and push it forward? Gets it blocked. Looking for options. Gets it towards Nandini, who has remained onside. There's Anvita making her way towards the center. Here's Nandini, takes it on the left. Nandini shoots. And then has wriggled past the goalkeeper and has found that right corner. They've managed to come from behind 2 times and have finally got the lead here. Nandini gave it a chase, cuts it on her left and shoots towards the target. Gets the deflection from the skipper, Mamata Singh, and the ball finds the net. 3 minutes have been added on
3 minutes.
as the stoppages. It's going to be long 3 minutes if you are Tungabhadra. You want to see that. You want to hear that final whistle go off as soon as possible. It's all about game management from here on. Nandini, from her standards, it wasn't an easiest of first halves for him, but in the second, provided once and got on the score sheet 1 time. What more? She's down on the ground. Still wants to carry on. If I could understand the hand gestures correct, because the physio did ask her if she could carry on, but she did say yes initially. Doesn't look to be in great shape to go on from here on in the final couple of minutes left. And she's done her job. An assist and a goal to her credit. They've given themselves a chance here. Tungabhadra stays the way it is. They get themselves to 7 points. And will pip Liberty Ladies Football Club in the standings. Change for Tungabhadra. And still have the ball. They'll have to try and manage this game from here on. Here's Deepika Chauhan, who lets it fly. You can hear from Sumitra urging her players to try and find the right pass into the final minute.
Substitution for Tungabadra FC. Jersey number 9.
It's a decent ball, Singo Murmu.
Jersey number 22. Marappa Gowda.
That would have been a very good opportunity. Anusha making sure she gets to the end of it first. Here comes Tungabhadra once again. Lets it fly from outside. Goes wide of the target. That would have been the final nail in the coffin. Has Laya Balasubramaniam got something on it? Doesn't look like she has. Nandini once again. So Rashita, beg your pardon. And team up is the call from the touchline. Dying embers of the game. Can they try and keep the ball, keep the possession? Tungabhadra belted out by Aruna this time. two games of Group C. The first one definitely living to its expectations. And there comes the full stop to this contest. And an ebullient Tungabhadra Football Club side. They came here with a job to do, started this game, placed fourth in the points table against a team that was slotted at number 2 position. It was a pendulum swinging right throughout the 90 minutes. It was a Singo Murmu strike early on in the first quarter that got Liberty Ladies FC the lead. And that was equaled out by Anvita at the 23rd minute mark. And Jala Nakulan gave them the lead once again, which was nullified in the second half by Varshita. And in the 90th minute, Nandini took a shot towards the target. That was going in for all money. Takes the deflection of Mamta Singh and wriggles past the back line and into the net it goes. So 3 points for Tungabadra FC. That takes them to the second spot in the points table momentarily. And all depending on the game at 4 p.m. between Sesa and Mumbai Knights. If Sesa go on to draw or win that contest, then Tungabhadra and Sesa will qualify to the final round. And just in case if you have missed out on the action, this is how it panned out. Game living up to its expectations, going down to the wire. Had some lapses, some defensive errors. Then there were goals scored in both the halves as Nandini and squares it up, and that was belted, ferociously struck past the keeper. This was a very good moment in the game for Markadarshi. Was unchallenged at the edge of the box, sent it flying in. Murmu had a couple of opportunities herself. And this was again sent just wide by Anvita. It fell to Murmu again. Got the shot away, but straight towards Anusha. And Nandini had a couple of decent options, a couple of decent chances. Takes the touch, cuts it on the left, and this one. And somehow goes past Anvita towards the final few seconds of the game. Having a crack at the target. A jubilant Tungabhadra FC side. In terms of the stats, 48% to 52% in terms of ball possession. And 16 shots with 8 landing on target for Liberty Ladies. 15 shots with 9 landing on target for Tungabhadra. Almost even Stevens in terms of the number of saves. 2 corners to Liberty and 3 to Tungabhadra. 4 fouls committed by Liberty Ladies FC's girls. And 1 foul to Tungabhadra. No cards in the game. It's been a fairly clean contest right throughout the 90 minutes. So Tungabhadra FC find themselves at the second position in the points table after 3 crucial points this morning. And that's the confirmation of the full-time score line here in Goa. Liberty Ladies FC 2, Tungabhadra FC 0. And that makes the last game of Group C a lot more exciting. That's a 4 p.m. kickoff. Sesa FA up against Mumbai Knights FC from the very ground here in Goa. Do join us again later in the afternoon, in the evening perhaps. Until then, this is Junaid Ahmed signing off for the moment.